right. We have the spicy Mandalorian stew. That's going to be our entree. And we've got a very special cocktail. We have Aunt Peru's Blue Brew being thrown together by good guy to know, Guy Klender, our galactic bartender, who will be joining us in a little bit. Now, these recipes are straight from the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge Cookbook by Insight Editions. Now, you can check that out at side.show/SDDP Galaxy. Now, with us, we have Autumn from the social media team. She's going to be moderating. So if you have any questions at all, such as what the ingredients are, prep time, etc., all you got to do is ask, and she'll relay those to us. Isn't that exciting? I know, I'm excited. Now, we know the times have been a little bit weird. I'd agree times have been weird, right?
Yeah, I adore you, but I'm sick of you.
Yeah, she sure is. But here at Sideshow, we are doing our best to help make everything feel normal with our new campaign, that's the right word.
Yep.
Hashtag Stay Inside Show.
Yeah.
Now, for those of you who don't know what this is, this campaign, hashtag Stay Inside Show, we've been going live twice a day all week, and we'll continue to do so next week. That's right. So every day we are live at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time, right? We're going to do something special then, and then again later at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, right now, meaning right now, Sideshow's social distance dinner party, we are live on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and in the Facebook Live, Facebook Live, the Let Your Geek Sideshow Facebook group. This is a fantastic group of the Sideshow community. We have lots of cool stuff going on there. It's a super awesome group, exclusive Sideshow news, lots of really cool stuff there. So you're going to want to check that Let Your Geek Sideshow Facebook group out there. You guys say that?
Yeah.
Now, for those curious about our schedule, go ahead and follow us on @Sideshow Collectibles on Instagram and @Collect Sideshow on Twitter so you can get more of a heads up on what we have coming your way. Now, another super cool event we have going on is our Pose Master, Terry Smith. Love Terry Smith. Pose Master Terry Smith's Pose of the Day Challenge. Right now, this is an awesome competition where you can win a fun little prize and Pose Master bragging rights, which I think we all would enjoy having. Check out our social channels for information on that. Now, today's competition, because there is one going on right now.
Ooh, what is it?
Ooh, it's a competition for today.
Ooh.
It ends at midnight Pacific Standard Time tonight. Now, let's get into this kitchen here and let's get things started.
Hey,
Val.
Hey, bro, what's up? Jeff now is going to hold the recipe for me, which is the only job he ever does when it involves cooking.
Sometimes I also get in the way.
Yeah. So today we're going to be making the spicy Mandalorian stew. So the ingredients I have prepared already, because nobody needs to watch me cut my finger while chopping a purple potato, because I did. I 100% did.
It did happen.
And the recipe calls for a rough chop. And I'm like, is there any other way to chop a potato? I don't think so. So we've got all the ingredients laid out. Everything's measured, portions are correct. That way we can cut through all the messy stuff. Yes,
so what do we got here?
We got a bunch of stuff. We've got onions, we've got carrots, we've got purple potato. These are my nemesis at this point.
When you cut the purple potato, they bleed.
It's really weird. There's this like milky white stuff that comes out of it. It's creepy.
It's very Star Warsy.
It is. We've got some diced apple. It's a red apple. We've got skinless, boneless chicken thighs. So if you're a vegetarian or a vegan, you do not have to use chicken. You can just completely omit it from the recipe. And it also calls for chicken broth. And if you don't want to use that, you can just use veggie broth. So you can still 100% enjoy the meal. We've got a array of other fun stuff. Flour, couscous. We've got some freshly ground ginger, which also is a nightmare to do.
Very difficult to grind. That was my job, and I failed.
Yes, you did. We've got soy sauce, sugar. We've got garlic, tomato paste, and then we have two very fun spices. We have curry, and we have what is it? It's the masala, the garam masala spice too. And so it's going to be super delicious. So it doesn't take very long. The whole thing, prep time, cook time, all in all about 40 minutes. Actual cook time for the stew is about 30. So what we're going to do is we're going to get everything started, and then once everything's in the pot, we're going to throw it over so you can see a fun cocktail.
Ooh, can I read? Can I read what we did?
Oh, you sure
I
can.
would love to. It's a story time here.
Okay.
Valerie, I would like you to take the
You have to hold
olive
that down
oil.
so people can see what's happening. There you go.
That's probably a good idea.
There you go.
It says here, heat the olive oil in a large saucepan
I already
Which
put
it
the olive
seems like
oil
you-
in.
over medium heat.
Right.
Then add the onion, garlic, and ginger.
All right. So we've got an insane amount of onion. Let's put that in there. The recipe calls for a medium onion, so I did half of it insanely large.
So we got that one worth. So as the olive oil is heating in the large saucepan over medium heat, we add the onion, the garlic, and the ginger. So as you can tell, we're already starting with a flavorful base.
Yes, we are. A flavorful base. And this is the ground ginger that Jeffrey did.
I did that.
Yes,
I did do that.
Good for you. We're going to toss that guy in there. And we're going to let everything kind of cook a little bit. Maybe turn up to like a 5. Basically, you just want these to soften up a little bit. You want to have the really, like, the fragrance of everything come through. And
We'll cook it for a couple of minutes.
yeah.
This is actually really fun. This was the thing that when we were given the option to pick the first meal with this cookbook, we both chose this as our first choice.
It looks so good. I can't wait to try it.
Yeah, and the fact that Sideshow was willing to be like, we're going to feed you as long as you cook it, we were all about it. This book is actually really fascinating. While that thing is going through there, we have done a lot of cool stuff. We've made, there's ingredients, or excuse me, there's recipes for all kinds of things that you can make, and a lot of stuff that works with each other. We made some really cool Parwan energy cakes.
Parwan Nutri-Cakes.
Nutri-Cakes. We made Parwan Nutri-Cakes, and they were super, super tasty. So we actually cheated a little bit, and we made a little appetizer off camera for ourselves.
Jeff ate almost all
I ate most of it, yeah. Pretty exciting. So I am so excited to be here with you all for the premiere episode of Sideshow's Social Distancing Party with Jeff May and Valerie Tosi. Cocktails by Guy Klender. Really excited to do that. And again, if you're just joining us, we are using the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge Cookbook by Insight Editions. So.
And I want to say too, before we all became trapped in our homes, and what a fun time it's been. I never really cooked. Like I was, I would heat up anything in a microwave if I could. And this cookbook is great because it has a ton of recipes that even for people like me that were scared, that are very manageable. Like this one, I mean, like you chop everything up, you throw it in a pot, you cook it. Like it's really, really easy.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this one right here. So you can hear it sizzling, and it's going to make a nice fragrance in the kitchen. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
I like a good fragrance.
Smells a lot better than when I was cutting up raw onion and I was frying.
Yeah. Sound off in the chat if you like good savory fragrances.
Can we see the chat? Are people chatting?
We can't. We sure can't. No, that is going to be
we sure can't.
To Autumn from social media. From the social.
Yeah, I'm here.
See?
Oh,
Yes.
Autumn, how you
watching
doing over there?
I'm doing good. I'm just watching the chats. It's you got people everywhere. By Facebook group.
As you're doing that, what's your favorite food fragrance?
Food fragrance? Oh, like bacon smell.
Like the bacon smell?
Yes, for sure.
I like that smell because it stays for 8 days after you cook bacon.
It sure does.
And then you're like, is someone cooking bacon again? You're like, oh no, over a week ago we had bacon.
I'm going to add a big old pile of skinless, boneless chicken thighs.
All right.
Oh, nice.
So now that she's been stirring occasionally, she's going to add the chicken, stirring that occasionally until the meat is browned on all sides. Right? We have an all sides browning happening right now. Very excited.
I have a question from the chats. They'd like to see the book again that you're cooking from, and I'll drop the link again.
I'd love to show you the book again. So right here we have it. Now this features all the tastiest treats in the galaxy, and it brings a little taste of the Blackspire Outpost right into your home.
In fact,
Awesome.
Jeff, you should actually, the cool thing about all these recipes, there's like a little intro for all of them. Jeff, would you like to do story time and read this?
I would love to do story time. As the chicken is browning. Okay. Let's do a little story time.
Story time.
Spicy Mandalorian stew by the Cookbook. Mandalorians were proud warriors with a real reputation for toughness. If something didn't pose a challenge, it wasn't worth their time. Apparently, that point of view carried over into supper time as well, as evidenced by this traditional stew that's so blazing hot it'll burn the hair right out of your nostrils. This old Mandalorian gem is known in their native tongue as Tiingidar. I ain't fluent in Mandoa, but I assume it roughly translates to eat at your own risk.
Ooh.
Combining a hearty blend of meat and veg with a scorching seasoning mix, this concoction would make even the hardiest Mandalorians sweat themselves right out of that crazy armor of theirs.
We've got a couple of questions.
Oh, I have. Hopefully, we have a couple of.
Jill wants to know: have Jeff and Val visited Galaxy's Edge?
No, because everything shut down before we got to.
Yeah, it's one of those things where Galaxy's Edge is a financial commitment. And so with going there, we just have to figure out how we can make that affordable.
We're just gonna do 25,000 more of these videos.
That's fine. Bill wants to know: are these made from the restaurants at Galaxy's Edge in the theme parks? Is this the same recipe, you think?
This says it's the official Black Spire Outpost cookbook, and there's a lot of lore in here. You might want to give me a couple of minutes so I can work through it, but I believe that some of the recipes are.
Okay.
I think so.
There's
I have
probably
a couple of
Oh, go ahead.
couple of other important questions. Rancid Monk on YouTube has screamed at me in all caps to ask you how the cat is doing.
Oh, I'm so. Oh, see, a true fan. You know what? You chat while the chicken's growling. I'll go get it.
Okay, great. Let's just leave the meat alone to cook on the. Oh, he's sleeping, so we woke him up.
And Michael wants to know on Facebook, in the Facebook group, if the recipe for blue milk is in that book.
I don't think blue milk is in here because blue milk, I believe, is a Tatooine based beverage. And of course, Black Spire Outpost is not located on Tatooine, it's on Batu.
He's not happy about it when he won. Go back.
And now Rancid Monk has screamed at me, Kitty. I believe that would be pronounced Kitty. So, yeah.
There's a lot of milk. Also, I think a lot of these drinks are. I think blue milk's a little soft for these beverages. Although we do have Bantha chai, and Bantha chai is blue.
Okay.
So that would be a close approximation because Banthas, of course, are native to Tatooine.
Jeremy McFadden says to tell you both hello. I'm sorry, hi. He said hi. And Nolan says that is an excellent cat.
He's a very good cat.
He is the best biscuit.
His name is Rones. Don't ask any more questions after that.
Okay then.
Huh?
I said okay then. Fair.
His nickname is Rones. Let's see. So it's fun because in the coming moments, as it browns in here, it's going to be very simple because the next direction is going to be add the remaining ingredients and cook covered for about 30 minutes until the vegetables are soft, serve hot. So you'll notice one of the things we did is we picked a recipe that might have about 10 minutes of prep time, but it gives us a lot of time to sort of not have to look at it and watch Guy make a drink.
Yeah.
And if you have ever seen Guy work the bartending deal, he is fantastic at it. He is quite talented.
I think it's actually about time to add everything else.
Is it all brown on each side?
Yeah, I mean, it's chicken, so it's, you know what I mean, it's going to get...
Yeah, undercooked chicken is never a problem.
No, but I mean, it's going to look cooked. It's not going to be brown.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it looks like that right now. Which is
that looks white.
Pretty much cooked chicken. Well, it's not going to get brown. It's chicken. It's also going to cook in here for...
Sound off in the chat if self-quarantining is driving you slightly mad.
Yeah. So sound off if you're quarantining with your significant other that you didn't live with before, but you have to now.
Guy is in the chat and he said he says not to worry, I'm going to give you every drink recipe, and the ones in the book are different from the ones I'll be making, but come straight from the kitchen of Aunt Beru herself.
Ooh, wow. Ooh, Canon. They're establishing Canon. All right.
So I think we're gonna add all the ingredients here.
Okay. So first we're gonna put in these sausage-looking potatoes
These
here.
evil potatoes. I figure they're gonna take the longest to cook, so we'll just kind of toss them in there.
And the potential chance for an ingredient of Valerie's finger blood. She did cut her finger while she was cutting these potatoes.
Okay, it was a mild.
There's a question for Jeff.
Yes.
What from Eric on Facebook wants to know what's the most appetizing creature in Star Wars canon?
I will tell you what, it was very satisfying in The Mandalorian to see them eating salacious crumbs.
Nah, that was really great.
Because those guys need the most appetizing creature. I mean, not for nothing, but I wouldn't mind a Ronto steak. Is that good? Is that good?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. I think
like
that
I
works.
feel like I wouldn't like a Minoc. They seem like they would be like very stringy.
Andrew on Facebook says, if there's nothing else but porgs, would you consider that an ingredient?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, if we're using chicken, it's still poultry.
That's an ingredient, yeah.
Like we use chicken thigh meat, and it's funny because Val and I are not chicken thigh fans. We're actually we're probably chicken breast.
Chicken breast fam.
Chicken breast people. But I guess we just we went with thighs. But you could use, I guess you could theoretically use any poultry for this, right?
Oh, Ash Anakin? He thinks an Ewok would taste delicious.
I'm not going to disagree.
How dare you?
How about Gungan? Right?
What about a hut? I don't think that would be.
Ooh, no. Oh, that would be just fat and gristle.
It would last you a long time, though.
Oh yeah, but that's like that really big sandwich from The Simpsons. It's not going to keep, you know.
No.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what I would eat. I don't know.
Maybe anything.
Maybe Corellian. Just a Corellian. Yeah, I'm going real dark.
Nolan says braised sarlacc calamari.
I say it again.
Braised sarlacc calamari.
That would be a tough get. I would love to try that, but man, you gonna go close? Who's hunting sarlacc?
We got some dark friends here on the chats with us. Fossil says the child. No.
Oh, no.
It's a baby.
Maybe.
Oh boy.
What's wrong with you guys?
I thought that's why they wanted him in the first place in that series. Right? He was like, he's a delectable treat that I'm going to roast over fire. Was that?
Oh, you guys, shame on you. Sean Mahmood says, what about a Wookiee?
I mean,
Like you guys are being mean just to be mean.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, it's like if you're going to eat one animal, what's the difference in sentience between one animal and another? Know your footprint, I guess. Autumn, what would you eat? Autumn, what would be your Star Wars food?
I feel like a tauntaun would be like last you a while and probably have a lot of flavor.
Yeah, they smell really bad on the outside, though.
They do, yeah. Not as bad as they smell on the inside.
Yeah, and it'll keep you warm.
They will.
And they
So I
talk
feel like meat. Yeah, they do.
Been chit-chatting. I have added all the ingredients. So everything is in le pot. So I'm going to cover it. I'm going to finish stirring a little bit. I'm going to cover it, and I'm going to let it cook for 30 minutes.
So for 30 minutes. So with that being said, there's no sense in just looking at us as a pot is making stew.
A launch pot never boils.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get ready to throw it over to my man, 6th scale / galactic alcohol expert, Guy Klender. And Guy is going to teach us how to make Aunt Peru's Blue Brew. Because when you are stuck on the Lars Moisture Farm with nothing better to do, pick it up with Aunt Peru. Hey, Guy.
Hey, guys.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome to my kitchen and with a recipe given to me by Aunt Peru. So we're going to do 2 versions of this. I'm going to do one with alcohol and one for those who don't want alcohol. I'm also going to do a non-dairy, and that's if you have an allergy to it or you just want to avoid cream and milk and things like that, you can do it. All right. So there are 3 ingredients that we're going to need from the bar. We're going to, hi, Henry. We're going to need some coconut rum. Now you can either buy coconut rum, or if you wanted to take a silver rum, you take and add shredded coconut and a little bit of sugar, cover that, and you can sit it in a cabinet or so for about 6 weeks. It really pulls out the flavor. I make my own that way, but of course you can go and buy a brand name, and any of them are going to do. Next one is going to be your blue curacao, and the last is your amaretto, an almond-based liqueur. All right, so grab yourself your measuring cup, and we're going to do. It's pretty simple as far as the alcohol. It's going to be 2 ounces of each. So if you're making this for 4, 6, 8, however many people, you're just going to do your math. So we're going to do 4 ounces of blue curacao.
That's very blue.
Yes. 4 of rum.
That's still blue.
4 of amaretto. It's going to keep that blue. It's going to keep that blue. Hi, Henry. Now, you can
Your dog can drink all that.
Well, you know, I was making enough for all of us, but then realized we're not together, so, but I'm not having any of your food, so I'll just have all of this.
Henry.
So I'm going to put all of that into a blender with ice. Now, you don't have to blend it. You could do that at home with a hand shaker. I use that as well. But if you're going to be doing multiple or larger amounts, I suggest doing in the blender. Okay, so with this one here, we're then going to do 6 ounces of milk. You can do a little more if you like. And then for cream, we're going to do another 2 ounces. Whoop. Put those all together. You're going to see it already has that light blue. Pull this over here to the old blender. Real quick. Sometimes you'll call it a flash blend. And then Aunt Baru's Blue Brew.
Oh my gosh, that looks so good.
Straight from the Klender blender itself.
That looks amazing.
Aunt Peru's Blue Brew.
That looks so good.
Very, very tasty. If you
Why drink all of it?
Joe, chug it.
Chug it.
Chug it? Okay.
No, we know you can't.
This is responsible.
Yeah!
Yeah! Guy.
Woo!
I do have a question from the chats, guys.
Yes,
a
this is
question
my
from the
first
chat.
milk mustache, guys.
Nice.
My first milk mustache, and it's blue. Go ahead.
The question from the chat is, for those of us just joining, what is he making?
Ooh.
This is, I call this Aunt Baru's Blue Brew. And this is a variation on that blue milk idea. There are a lot of different ones. Obviously, the one that if you go to the parks, it's a little bit different. The non-alcoholic one they do there is also a little bit different. I'm going to have a little bit more of that. This is a simple, real quick ingredient. This is the reason that I'm giving you this one here, is that everything's in equal parts. You're not having to do a lot of math as far as, well, I want to make 3, I want to make 4. Everything's in multiples of 2. You're going to do 2 ounces of your blue curacao, 2 ounces of your coconut rum, 2 ounces of your amaretto, 2 ounces of your cream, and then the largest one you're going to do is 6 ounces of milk. If you want to not do dairy, eliminate the milk and the cream. You could either go with a coconut milk, which is going to amplify the coconut taste with the coconut rum, or you could do a blend of the two, and you could do coconut milk and almond milk, which would be kind of fun because then you're keeping those flavors, but you're going to eliminate the dairy if you want.
We have those things because we're lame.
No. In fact, one of the reasons I wanted to do this is I know that, Jeff, you don't do quite as much dairy. And I also know that there are people
quarantine.
that have allergies. So, but anyway, that's out of a blender, so you're going to get that kind of neat froth. If you want it as a dessert, you can always throw in a vanilla ice cream. in it, and also the kids one, you can do that.
Wait, vanilla ice cream? What?
If you wanted to, this is great over vanilla ice cream, like a shake, which is very, very tasty. So I happen to have some ice cream as well. So our next one we're going to do is going to be our non-alcoholic version of this one here. All right. Now, this one here, we're going to do our almond milk first. We're going to go with 4 ounces of that.
That's almond milk.
Yep. Now this one here is pineapple coconut water.
That looks like a magic potion.
Yeah, look
It
at
is. Well, I had to put it in funny things to make it spacey.
I was like, did you get that from a merchant that you met on a trail while you were on a quest?
what kind of tincture is that?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And then we're going to put 2 ounces of that one there in it. With this one here, we're going to use 2 ounces of cream. Again, like I said, if you don't want to do dairy, you could do almond milk.
Can I do milk?
Can
I do oat milk?
Yes. Yeah.
Ooh,
Definitely you can.
How about cashew milk?
Yep. Any of those, if you're gonna do one of those milks, because not necessarily oat, but the cashew and some of the other, they're gonna have a little bit more flavor with them. So go with a little bit more of the pineapple water. I wait to the very end to add a few drops of food coloring, and that way I can get the color just the way I want it. Give that baby a little shake.
Yeah.
That's good.
And I thought it'd be fun to put this in a little milk jug.
Oh.
Oh.
That's it. We have to eat the stew out of jars to outdo it.
Yeah. We're gonna have to. Yeah.
Boom.
We have a couple of questions from the chats for you guys.
Yes.
Okay.
The first one is, Guy, did you see that Disney Park shared the recipe for the Dole Whip?
I did indeed, and as one of the people who frequents the cantina down there, as well as goes to Trader Sam's and is a Dole Whip fanatic, I was excited, and so don't think that I won't be getting myself out to the store or having something delivered so I can attempt that recipe myself, throw on a Hawaiian shirt, and have my own little luau here. So.
I believe it's
I think it's great that Disney's doing that. I think they're also showing people the churro recipes. Now, I'm not sure I should be around vats of hot oil, but I may give that one a whirl too.
Nice.
Sometimes I will drive directly to downtown Disney just for a churro ice cream sandwich and then go home.
Yep, I've
Wait, they make a churro ice cream sandwich. I mean, that's very thin. One churro and then a little line of ice cream?
It's not a hot dog. It's like they make a curled. It's like a little curled, it looks like a cinnamon bun, and then they put it in
here. But Jeff, I kind of want you to make it where it's the long churro, a little thin line of ice cream, and then another churro on top.
That just seems like a weird eclair.
Well, sure, but it would be fun to watch you eat. It really would. So
it's always fun to watch me eat, Guy.
I'm excited about this cookbook. When I had been to the park, they didn't release the book yet. I mean, the book is relatively new.
So if you look here, you'll notice that we have actually already put some of the stuff we're going to be cooking in the next week. So we have our bookmarks already in there.
Yeah.
And that stuff we're not even doing on camera. We just are going to.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's definitely one that I want to check out. I was saying to Debbie here as we were watching you do yours, I said I need to order the book from the site so we can have it here. So
there's another question. Crystal wants to know, have you tried the Fuzzy Tauntaun or the Bantha Fizz at Galaxy's Edge, Guy?
I have tried each and every one of those. I guess I could have pulled out my barware. I've been to Galaxy's Edge quite frequently. Yes, I've tried them.
Wow, way to rub it in, Guy.
Oh, and Andrew says.
No, it's with you too.
Andrew says to you,
with
Jeff. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't hear you. Andrew says to you, Jeff, that churro ice cream sandwich sounds amazing. He's now going to be on the hunt for it next time he goes to Disney.
Not
Now,
only
wait.
is it amazing, but you can get it in the flavors, and you can get the apple cinnamon churro with the vanilla ice cream and the apple cinnamon churro on top of it. It is one of the greatest things on the gosh darn planet. On all
Now,
of them.
Jeff, could you get, because you said all the flavors, could I get that churro cup and fill it with Dole Whip?
Again, nobody's. I mean, are there like Disney cops?
Yes, there are. I do know them.
Are they going to feed you with little churro batons if you do? If
That's
you
what it is. It's a baton made of churro. It's not painful. It's just, it's humiliating. It's, you know,
Yeah.
they tell you they're not angry. They're just disappointed.
Yeah, but with that, I get the Dole Whip, get the churro bowl. Go for it, man. There's no rules.
There are no rules.
There's no rules anymore, man. The world is different now.
Yeah, well, it is. I mean, I'm here drinking a blender full of Aunt Maru's blue milk, and that would be, I don't know, like 24 ounces of alcohol. But, you know, hey, I'm not great at math, which is why I gave you a recipe all in twos.
As somebody who does not partake personally, I'm very ashamed that you're not finished with that drink already. Let me tell you, guy. Are we not supposed to do that? Can we do that?
I mean, it's done. There is also, we've got Fossil over in YouTube. He says he is streaming Mandalorian on his desktop as he watches our social distancing dinner party on his laptop. He is he's on chapter 4 right now.
I love The Mandalorian. I know in Rogue One, we see the blue milk. It does a little cameo.
Yeah.
Did we see blue milk at all in The Mandalorian? I know they sneak so many things in there.
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe that might be more for the chat. If anybody remembers that there's blue milk in there, let me know.
I would like to add right now that the smell that's happening
So
from
good.
that right there is so gosh darn tasty that I want to go in and eat. I want to eat all that chicken right now.
Now, Jeff, this is the first time making this recipe?
What's that?
Is this your first time making the recipe?
Yeah, we wanted, just in case we screwed it up, we wanted it to be okay.
Because I'm curious if this is one that you could adjust the spicy quality. I'm sure we're going to get questions of, is it spicy? Is it, you know, or could I use something other than chicken?
Well, there's going to be spices and flavor, but there's nothing in it hot, spice-wise.
Yeah, there's no heat. There's just more flavor.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. And you said that this is one that if I didn't want to use chicken, I could use tofu or seitan or could I do beef?
Yeah,
No, you can't do anything like that.
Stop it. What I would say, if you're going to do tofu or something like that, what I would do is probably do it towards the end, because otherwise, you know what I mean? It's going to overcook and be really kind of
correct. Yeah.
I would say pan fry the tofu, and then once it's done almost cooking, add it, stir it in, let it cook a minute or two.
Nice.
Here's my suggestion for the tofu, right?
Don't you dare.
Hold on. Don't step on my bit. So you start cooking the stew without the protein in it, and then you take your pack of tofu, and then you kind of open it up from the top, and then you dump it in the trash.
He's such a monster.
Now, when this
This is the man that will ketchup on corned beef hash, but he won't eat tofu.
would the stew be thick enough for me to put it inside a churro bowl?
I mean, there are no rules, guy.
That's the blue milk talking. That's really not me.
That's the blue milk.
Now, as a heads up, I know that some people, we've gotten some stuff in the chat that say people are just joining us. So if you are just joining us, welcome to Sideshow's social distancing dinner party. I'm Jeff May.
I'm Valerie.
And right over there is Guy Klender, over there on the ones and twos, making all sorts of tasty delicacies. Now, we are using the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge Cookbook by Insight Editions. But again, you can check that out at side.show/SDDE We are cooking up the spicy Mandalorian stew.
The spicy Mandalorian stew.
Yep, that's how they talk. They're Italians.
Yep.
This is the way. And then, meanwhile, Guy is going to town over there making Aunt Beru's Blue Beru. And if you're just joining us, he's already had 30 of them.
Guy, okay, so for viewers at home, one of my favorite memories is on Jeff's birthday, we went to Tonga Hut in Van Nuys, and our good friend Guy got me drunk on Jeff's birthday. Jeff doesn't drink. And I've gone back to Tonga Hut a couple of times, and every time I've gone, Guy, your bartender hasn't been there, so I haven't been able to have those same delicious cocktails that you recommended.
Don't worry, we'll be back. We're excited to go back. Sid actually, who's my good buddy there, has created a cocktail that is just served there. That is called Kraken the Dolben, and it is amazing, absolutely amazing. So
I love.
I said earlier that you could turn the blue milk into a float, so I happen to have a little bit of ice cream there. So.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I happen to have.
Oh, okay.
You know.
Oh my gosh, that looks so good.
So,
See,
if you so desire.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
So there, again, no rules.
It's called Vandalorian stew because it's made with vanilla ice cream. Get it?
I like that.
We have a couple more questions from chat.
Thank God.
Eric from Facebook would like to know, what do you think the best meal prepared with a lightsaber would be?
Ronto
Barbecue.
steaks.
There you go.
Oh.
No question. Ronto steaks.
No, I could see if you had your lightsaber and you could go real thin on those slices of ahi sashimi, so it would just sear the outside, but the inside stay medium rare, would be spectacular.
Are tuna canon in the Star Wars universe?
Sure. I don't think you can prove that it's not.
Is there tuna fish on like Ord Mantell?
Can I be really basic and just say that I would stick a marshmallow on the end of a lightsaber because
I want to just say, okay, but don't you risk that what is the time limit on the end of a lightsaber? Because there's always that perfect moment when it's just the right tone of caramel color. You're like, ooh, and then it goes whoosh and goes into flame and you go, ah! And you have to.
Also, your lightsaber would smell so good after that.
Yeah, and I wouldn't take that gamble.
I wouldn't, because I'd try to get it off my lightsaber and slice the tips of my fingers off immediately.
That's because you can't do anything without burning yourself. You burn soup in the microwave yesterday.
So I'm now realizing that the reason you chose a stew for Jeff is that it's something he can eat with a spoon, because anything pointy is a poor choice.
She already cut herself today. This is the third knife-related injury that she's self-sustained.
Listen, accidents always happen closer to home.
We have a lot of accidents.
Sometimes in the home.
It's funny too, because as we were going through this book, we toyed with the idea of making a dessert, and there's a lot of really cool stuff on here. There's some pretty cool stuff that I really wanted to sort of have a bit. They have these really tasty looking Bespin cloud drops.
Wow.
Look at those.
Let me see. Which one? Oh, yeah.
Are they like a meringue or what?
And we really wanted to go with the Rosher tree cake. Look at it. It looks like a tree. But we toyed with the idea of doing that, but also we've had a little too many desserts lately, and that has been a problem for us.
Yeah, I've had a lot of. Show everybody that it's all the same amount: your amaretto, your blue curacao, and your coconut rum. And I also want to make another one for myself. So.
What a surprise!
There's always got to be that one person at the dinner party who has a little bit more than they should. So, and that's good. That's going to be me. So with this one here, instead of doing the cream and milk, I'm just going to use the straight almond milk this time, and I'm going to amp it up with a little bit of that pineapple coconut water. So, as you said,
your mystical potion.
So yeah, I know. Just get wild. I'm going to add a little bit of ice.
I don't know what that sounds like.
by the way, for everyone at home, we have 2 minus 10 minutes till the stew's ready.
Stew's on 10 minutes.
A green milk, I guess, if you wanted. If you were a Last Jedi fan and you really wanted to have the green milk, you can adjust it.
I'm having interesting sound problems over here.
Same.
It sounds like you're talking to us from under the sea, which is really exciting.
I do have more of a comment, less of a question from YouTube. Frank says, there should be a cooking show with Jeff and Val every week. And I let him know he's in for good luck because...
For better or for worse.
Guy, hey Guy, we need you to do something about your audio, man.
What happened?
I don't know.
Okay. Let's see.
You said
You sound like a witch cursed you to live at the bottom of a tin can.
You want to try and click it? Hang on, we're going to stop for a second and try and redo it. We'll be right back.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll be here. So that being said,
And he sounded great right at the end there.
That's all. As soon as Zoom realizes Guy has to leave,
It fixed itself.
it's like, okay, it's fine. Oh, there he is.
Hey, we're back. And we're drinking.
Yeah, buddy.
There we go.
Here it is.
All right.
crazy.
Now you said it sounded like I was underwater, and that's very different. If it sounded like I was hammered, that would be the blue milk. Or as I said, you can also instead you can add to your blue curacao when you've got it in your blender. Add 1 or 2 drops of green food coloring, and you can have your Last Jedi milk. So depending on if you wanted to go with original trilogy or continuing trilogy, totally up to you.
Good choice.
I just think you can as much as you possibly can.
I would like to say when you're like, if it sounded like I was drunk, it's because I'm drunk, which I am a fan of. If I could do a show with you where you just
Just drink. You know,
drinks,
Jeff, when I second think on how I should have done today's show, this probably shouldn't have been that day where I said, you know, I've wanted to try intermittent fasting. Maybe I don't eat today.
This is probably a bad idea.
But
Or good.
On third thought, it has made this go a heck of a lot further. So
Well, let me tell you, if you're gonna break the fast, there's nothing better than cream-based foods.
as I said, if you do have a dairy thing, you don't want to do dairy, you want to do less. You could go with almond milk. You could go with that oat milk. I know I've been using oat milk a lot now recently. You could do your pineapple coconut water or your coconut milk. You can eliminate the cream from it if you need to.
Well, what we did is we poured a bunch of rum in the stew, so we could catch up.
That would also work.
You can tell that Jeff doesn't drink because he said rum is his first alcohol of choice.
Yeah, I knew when I took Jeff out for his birthday and he said, I didn't drink. And you and I said, well, we'll drink for you. And apples and cherries and limes and you know, something shaped like a cockatoo was carved into it. It was great.
Yeah, it was like a gosh damn fruit salad with fizzy water.
Yes,
You know what's
but
fun?
everyone looked up to you or looked at you.
I don't know. I can't remember if I told you this, but Jeff and I went to the World Series when the Red Sox. Oh, I'm telling you, when the Red Sox won the World Series against the Dodgers. And prior, at the beginning of the game, Jeff had said, if the Red Sox win the World Series while we're here, you can get me drunk one time. So I've been holding on to that now for about 2 years?
About a year and a half.
Year and a half? So let me know when you're available and I will cash that shipment.
Oh, yes. Oh, definitely. So now I'm trying the alcoholic one with a scoop of vanilla ice cream to really pick up that.
Just completely.
And now I got
Yeah.
now I got with ice cream with frozen yogurt now.
Oh, there we go.
There Thanks
Yep.
for going to make it with the blue curacao and the sorbet.
I will say that I don't get invited to a lot of dinner parties, and I'm now realizing that this may be the reason.
Yeah, it might be because you're a raging space drunk guy.
Oh man, what a fun title, Raging Space Drunk. See,
Do they have that as a T-shirt, Raging Space Drunk?
They're about to.
When we get back to the studio, Jeff, I want 2 T-shirts made. One that says Raging Space Drunk, and the other one that says Read the Instructions.
I do have in the chats, I've got some support for Val saying that Jar Jar lived in an underworld city and there were lots of fish there. So tuna, not far off base. Not out of the question.
Yes.
Lots of fish.
I remember there's always a bigger fish was something Qui-Gon told us.
Yeah,
So there's some small ones too.
Tuna boo, because it's Naboo.
And Joe says, this is the best dinner party I've been to in a long time. Best one I've been to in at least a couple of weeks.
You know how you know it's a good dinner party? Because I am wearing my slippers. And that's how you know that the dinner party is a success.
Oh, his house slippers.
Yes, I'm wearing my house slippers.
Did you see
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, look at
Do
the
you have
shirt.
a smoking jacket? Jeff, I want nothing more than the next dinner party to see you in a smoking jacket and slippers. I'll do
Jeff
that
doesn't
one by the fireplace.
But look
I
at
have a fireplace here, never use it, but I'll kick up the fireplace for the next dinner party.
This is my May the Force be with you officially licensed Star Wars tank top.
It's also a tank top, and I was like, you're not wearing a tank top during our dinner party. Which is,
you know what?
most
Most people are.
thing I've ever said.
That's a thing, isn't it? I've heard that it's a no on the tank tops. Tank tops are pretty much not acceptable. Not even.
It's not like we're all looking at each other at the table, you know. I'm at the kitchen that I've been stuck in for the past 3 years? 3 years now? How long have we been here? How long?
I didn't care about the length. I cared about your choice of words.
I mean,
stuck. She heard the word stuck.
And
like
Jeff.
like every dinner party I've ever been into, the hosts eventually turn on one another, and just for entertainment, you get to watch their bickering. So it's fun.
Over on YouTube, Frank said he would like to start a GoFundMe for a smoking jacket for Jeff for the next dinner party.
Exactly. Now, I'm particular to seeing him in a red with the black velvet lapel, but it could be a deep blue, perhaps something in the deep purple realm, kind of a darker, just to go with the eyes. Woo! Whoa! Hey.
We've got some people in the chat that are just joining and want to know what you're cooking.
well, that's a wonderful thing. Hello, people just joining us in the chat. If you are just joining us in the chat, you are joining Sideshow's social distancing dinner party. That's right. I'm Jeff May.
Hello, I'm Valerie Tosi.
And that over there, Raging Space Drunk, is my man, Guy Klender. Now, we're making the spicy Mandalorian stew from the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge Cookbook, the official Black Spire Outpost Cookbook. And that is available, that's right, for you by Insight Editions. You can check that out at side.show/SDDP Galaxy. So we are making the spicy Mandalorian stew, and it's almost done.
Ooh, we only have 1 minute left.
Ooh, look at that. And then Guy has been making several versions of Aunt Beru's Blue Brew, and he is getting inebriated.
Yes. Yes, I am. So I'm curious. Did you make enough of this stew that you'll have some tomorrow? I'm wondering if this is like a lot of those stews and soups that, when it's been allowed to rest for another day, really gets a lot more flavor. Are you going to hang on to a little bit of it?
There's a pretty fair amount in here. Like I actually,
Okay.
it's about halfway halfway up the pan. So
It's a large saucepan. So.
Yeah, it's a big
Now-
saucepan.
You've been able to go through the book a little bit. Are most of the recipes a 2 to 4 serving, and then it tells you kind of how you can adjust it, or what is the average serving size on?
Right.
There's kind of a lot. They vary. Just that you didn't read.
No, I was going to say.
It varies. There's something there that guys are. Ooh, hello, Stu. Hold on.
I'll tell you this, Guy. Do I look at somebody that reads what the serving size is on something?
I never have. I never
It
have.
says it's only 4 servings, so 1 serving for me, and then half left for Val.
Yeah, 1 serving for Jeff, and I get to lick the spoon.
Hey, well, I'm like yourself, Jeff. I have a hard time with the serving things. Like, I bought a pallet of peanut M&Ms at Costco, and apparently that is not considered single serving. But I'm like, I just bought 1 pallet. That's 1.
Guy, I think you have a problem.
No, they're protein pellets. It's a peanut.
That's not what those are. No, they're sugar.
Hey, Jeff.
No.
Yeah, Autumn. what's up?
Jeff and Val, I've got a question from Twitter. Tommy Z34 says, it sounds like that would work well with a crock pot. Do you think so, Val?
The thing is, I love a good crock pot. I make a lot of stuff in a crock pot. This is so simple, and it's only a 30-minute cook time, where I don't think it's worth busting out the crock pot for, especially because there's so many different ingredients. I don't know what you would use in terms of time to adjust it, because this is cooking on medium for 30 minutes, which is very easy.
Oh, okay.
Skip the crock pot.
Val, what are all the different vegetables in there? You've got. I remember the purple potatoes.
Yeah.
But...
So there's veggies. There's carrots. There is onion, purple potato. I picked sweet potato because that's the only purple potato I could find.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of spices, there is curry. There is the garam masala. There is ginger, like fresh grated ginger. There's garlic.
There's tomato paste.
Tomato paste, a little bit of sugar, a little bit of flour, some couscous, like pearl couscous.
A little bit of
obviously-
maca, a little bit of Rita.
Yes, in your life. There's chicken, but you don't have to use chicken if you don't want to. Chicken broth. You can use veggie broth if you want. So there's a lot of tasty treats.
Well, I think what's most important about all of the things you just said is a little bit of Rita in my life. So Val, I want to thank you. I don't know if anybody in the chat realized that we were doing a little bit of Mambo number 5, but I know I'm doing Mambo number 5. I'm doing Mambo 1 through 8 because I can't feel my legs.
Is 1 through 8 the number of cocktails you've had this evening?
Well, I will be honest. When I was telling you all in the very beginning about the 2 ounces, that is actually for 2 people. So as I've prepared 3 of them, I've had enough cocktails for 6 people, and I'm not having this stew. So, however, it's been worth it, and this has been a great dinner party. I'm excited. I'm excited to hear how the stew turns
Hard
out.
to do.
We've got our stew here.
We've got our stew, but we're trying to do it in a way where it's not dumping all over the floor. So the stew looks delicious. Can you guys see it?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes, we can. It looks
Oh my
amazing.
God. It looks really good.
So it's right off the burner, so I'm looking forward to scalding my mouth.
Give it a
on
second. Give it a second. Let your
I will not.
While you're waiting for it to cool off, I do have a question. Crystal on Facebook wants to know, were there any dessert recipes in the cookbook? I think you guys showed some earlier, but can you circle back to that again?
Yeah. Let me see.
Yeah, there's that mud. There's that Mylar and mud.
Really? That's gonna be your top seller.
It looks
mud?
amazing.
Mud? Wait a second. Did you just ask for desserts and Jeff's first was to tell you about the mud?
Mud.
Mud.
Try the mud.
Try the
There's
mud.
the
Hey.
clap props that we were talking
Hey.
about. That looks really good. These are the ones that look very similar to cotton candy. So there's these guys. There's also where did it go? I just saw one that looked very delicious. Oh, these look really good too. These sweet sand cakes.
I hate sand.
So they're delicious. They're delicious, like almond based cookie. These I want to make. They're like homemade Pop Tarts, like little popover thingies. Like these look so good. These are the Karelian rishkate. Fishcake?
Barishnikov?
Fishcake. Which one?
Barishnikov?
No,
That's
that's a ballerina.
Yeah, I was like, that's different. But he would be a great addition to Mandalorian season 2.
I'm trying to find the.
Yeah.
Oh, the mud.
The mud is so
The
good.
mudslide. Is that the way?
Yeah, the Mimbonese mudslide. Show the people at home what that looks like.
Yeah.
Now, Jeff, are the cocktails in there as well?
There were a couple. Yeah, there are in the back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm gonna take a painful bite of this.
Painful bite. Not gonna give it the 5 minutes of French. We're just gonna
It
just
smells
dive
great.
into that.
Ooh, that's really good.
Is it?
It's very flavorful. It's actually quite sweet, which I wasn't expecting.
It's fine because it's
So
sweet.
Jeff, would you say it's sweet enough that it could be served in a churro bowl? No.
You want to go sweet on sweet. You want to go sweet on savory. So like a pretzel bowl.
Okay, I like it. I like the idea of pretzel bowl.
Wow.
So in next week's episode, we're going to have already baked some pretzel bowls for the episode.
Well, it's funny because there's an interesting thing about the recipes as I was reading through it, which I did do, by the way.
Because
there are recipes for things that are used in other recipes. It's actually like it's kind of an adventure. Like if you're like, oh, I want to make these, I want to make these kebabs or whatever. Well, they're like, okay, well, make sure you make this thing that's on page 76 or something. So it really does allow you to explore the depths of the book a lot.
Okay, so is it like if there would be a marinade that you're using on multiple things?
Yeah, they do spices and stuff like that you add to other things.
That brings me to the last question I've got from the chats for you, Jeff. Is they're wanting to know, are you going to cook from this again next week? And if so, do you know yet what you're cooking? Or a different book entirely?
I believe I don't know. We don't know yet.
Okay.
We are going to be back
Next week?
next week.
Same time, same place.
Friday.
Same place, my kitchen.
Yeah, same Jeff and Val time, same Jeff and Val channel. So what we're going to do, though, is we're going to take a look. We're going to spend some time. The other thing, too, is because grocery stores are tough right now, we also have to be smart about what we pick as far as ingredients are concerned. So we're going to go through it. We're gonna see what we do, and who knows? Maybe at some point in an episode we'll even throw a dessert together. Who knows?
I'm not gonna lie, that mudslide looks super good, and it's labeled as easy, so I am not ruling it out.
There it is.
Yeah, I've got another vote in the chats from Crystal for that mudslide. So yeah.
The people have spoken.
There you go.
Really good, by the way.
Yeah.
So for next week, the drinks, I thought we might go into a different genre, but we're going to pull out some warming spices and go with a hint of pumpkin. If anyone can figure out what I'm talking about.
Listen, you have a white woman, I always support pumpkin.
We are a very big pumpkin spice household here. I am not sure if there's been something that's made in the pumpkin spice world that we have not at some point purchased or currently own. But we will also be doing next week's one with an alcoholic version and a non-alcoholic version as well. So we'll try and keep those going, and I will try and give everybody alternatives. I know that people have allergies or things they like to avoid, so that's why this week I not only wanted to do probably the most famous of beverages in the Star Wars world, the blue milk, but I also wanted to do that where if you didn't do dairy or anything like that, that you could do something different. So with the children's version as well as the adults. If you want to do the green milk and you're binge watching, the new Star Wars films and you want to do The Last Jedi, obviously just use a little green food coloring instead.
We also have a recommendation for you guy from YouTube. Rancid says maybe we want to eat a little something before this next time. Something for the alcohol to land on, you said?
Yeah,
so you're realizing that the microphone issue is just I slur. like crazy.
No, Guy, maybe order a galactic pizza before you house 18 ounces of alcohol.
To be fair,
See what I find interesting about this? I think Jeff May said he wanted to just see me smash on camera.
No, I'm glad, and I want this to happen again.
As much as I love doing this, and I've been doing the bar stuff for over 20 years, I still am a lightweight when it comes to actually drinking the stuff. I love to create it, and I love to do the pop culture based cocktails. So I want to keep those coming for you. So this has been a lot of fun for me to do for you.
Guy,
I just wish I had a bowl of stew to go with it.
Thank you. Autumn,
thank you, Jeff.
We got anything going on in the chat?
Yeah, Nolan wants to see you make some eggs, correctly or incorrectly.
I could do it either way.
He says he's going to come back next week and hope to see that.
Whoa, today we'll be making eggs.
Well, Jeff, I want to see a proper 3-minute egg.
I don't follow the rules, man. There are no rules.
This is, and I agree with you coming from the guy who's had 64 ounces of blue milk.
Yeah. Trying to cut you off, Guy. Now that, I think I need to get to my stew. So this is going to conclude the premiere of Sideshow's social distancing dinner party, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining. Now, again, we're going to be here all next week. That's going to be 12 noon Pacific Standard Time, and then later at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time every day, Monday through Friday. We're going to be capping that off on Friday with Val, myself, and Guy having another social distancing party. So that's really, really great. Mm-hmm. Now, this Monday at noon, we are going to have Sideshow and Tell with a Mandalorian-themed giveaway.
Ooh!
There you go. Guy, you can't win. Anyway, make
but
sure
I can watch
that. We've got so much awesome live content during the hashtag Stay Inside Show campaign. So make sure you follow us at Sideshow Collectibles on Instagram and at Collect Sideshow on Twitter so you can get all of the updates and when we're going live. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube and smash that notifications button so you also will know when we're going live. I am Jeff May.
And Valerie Coffey.
And I'm Klender.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you all again, and we'll see you on Monday. And don't forget to not only let your geek side show, but also stay inside show. Thank you so much. Bye.
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 Bye, everyone.